slightly crooked. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dave Sebastian, coordinator of Mentoring Arts Programming with Wayside. I am back here again with you guys, like I am every day, doing some artwork to hopefully get you guys interested in creating today. It's raining pretty good over here, a nice dark day, good day for doing artwork inside. Today we're working on a sort of a pretty detailed sketch for a painting on the back of a leather. That I want to, to do. This is the last leather that we worked on. This is Cthulhu. Pretty fun. Did the whole back sleeves, some of the front. I only have one picture right there, but so we're gonna do another one. This is a size 50 Excelsior leather, pretty good quality, but it kind of has a Western vibe. It has some metal. Like poles on it and stuff that just have kind of a Western vibe. So Cthulhu is definitely like a horror vibe. So I figured the next subject that'd be coolest would be shootouts and the weird Old West. So there's a lot of great cowboy characters out there who would be totally worth working on, but I'm not great on portraits, so you couldn't use like the famous movie cowboy guys, like Clint and stuff. So it has to be someone who's a little bit easier to draw and possibly scarier looking. So I went back and forth for a little while. In fact, even before that, I was thinking of using the character Etrigan, the demon, because it seemed to me that like motorcycle jacket, the demon was a pretty good fit, stays in the horror genre, which I think might be popular. With leathers, of course, But then I was kind of like, well, I don't want to get pigeonholed, just do horror. I find Old West gunslingers to be like pretty cool too. So today we're going to be working with Jonah Hex, who is a fairly scary looking character. Let me see if I can show you a picture. There we go. So that's Jonah Hex so far, how we've drawn him. He's got some pretty serious scarring going on. So he's a yucky looking dude. But that is going to make it funner, so then it's not just a shootout drawing. Not that there's anything wrong with pulling off a shootout drawing. I'm working from a design by Gabe Leonard, who is probably the most three-dimensional coming out of the frame towards the camera artist I've ever seen. His stuff is absolutely brilliant. You guys should totally check him out. I'll put the link to his website in the comments. But man, you guys got to see his stuff. It's it's memorable to say the very least. And he's hitting some of the subcultures that I'm super interested, out of the times or the cliches or whatever you call it. Noir is what he's doing now. Then he did one that was about the blues. Like he just does. It's it's like a treatment and it's brilliant. It's just beautiful. Like his impression of what the Old West looked like, or hot rod culture, all these other things he's been doing. Tremendous stuff. I hope after the pandemic I'll find a gallery that he's in and be able to check the stuff out live, because it looks brilliant. So in any case, let me go off on Gabe Leonard for a few. So today we're going to be working on this project on the iPad Pro. This is the 12.9 iPad Pro. We're working with the Apple Pencil. This is Generation 2 Apple Pencil, which charges in a magnetic slot down the side of the iPad. So this one's pretty good. I really like it. I like it a little bit more than the last one, just because of this way that it charges. So we're going to continue working on this drawing here, which this is how far we got with it the last time we were together. That's the drawing right there. Now, what I want to make sure of is in Mr. Leonard's work, the elbow points out of the camera, like comes towards the camera. in mine it seems to be a little rubbery through the middle. So I'm hoping to to get something going on where I can try to work some geometry on this and see if I can figure out the way Mr. Leonard is working on it. One of the things I think is important is I have to take out the elbow. Like his, the artwork that he has, the elbow is just not there, but it still comes out, and it's this. I'm trying to use his idea of having the hands be dramatically larger than they could be. I think maybe part of it is I have to keep the size of. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. Keep the size of his hand going through his wrist. I think his arm gets too small, especially if he was wearing a coat or something like that. Now, Jonah Hex dresses as a Confederate soldier. This is not a popular thing today, but we got to put him in it. So we're going to kind of see how that comes together. At the moment, I feel like his hat looks more like your standard cowboy hat. So we're going to kind of see, what happens with that. So that is that. Let me tell you quick about my programs. My program is called Greenhouse Graphics, which if you're here on my YouTube page or our YouTube page. My job is coordinator of mentoring arts programming for Wayside. Mentoring arts programming is I work with young adults in our community between the ages of 16 and 26 and basically just do art with them as opposed to instructing them how to do art. I've been doing this with Wayside for about 7 years. Wayside is a human service company out of Framingham. They run a number of programs to support families, young adults and their families, and one of their programs is called Tempo Young Adult Resource Center. And this is a program at 68 Henry Street in Framingham that basically exists for young adults, who need really kind of anything. They help with crisis stuff like drugs and homelessness, and all the way to substance stuff like, they have a food kitchen and a shower and a computer lab, So if anyone out there needs anything like that and you're 16 to 26, please go check those guys out. The transitional facilitators, who are the guys who are mostly working with you guys, are just amazing, just great folks, and they could help you. And I have put together a studio in the basement of Tempo where I run open studio programming every Wednesday and Friday from 10:30 to 3 when I'm allowed to be there. I can't tell you how excited I would be to get back in there and do the work that that I've been doing for quite a while now. But until then, we will be here together trying to just do something. So what I am working with today, the iPad Pro, I don't expect everybody to have it. I don't expect everybody to want to do the project that I'm doing. I totally get that. The intention is to just to do artwork live and see if that, sort of inspires you to do some of your own work, or even just reaches out and connects with you in any way. This is what I'm trying to do. Works out sometimes, I hope. So we are going to do this work for a little while. We're together for about 2 hours, and we're going to see how far we can get. Now, the only problem with blowing out the detail on this piece is that I'm basically going to have to redraw the entire thing when it comes time to work on the leather. But that is not the end of the world, and I think I could make multi-piece airbrush stencils to establish a whole bunch of the lighting and outside elements. Details, I'm going to have to go in with the paint marker and do those, but that's actually the part I enjoy the most. You can really, you can have some fun with that. You know what I'm saying? I would say the Cthulhu painting was probably done in 4 live sessions, but it was 9 with detail. We also did some additional graphics and stuff like that, but so that's what we're going to do today. We're I'm hoping that we can finish this piece up today, at least so that it's far enough along that we can begin to build the stencils tomorrow. I am usually on Facebook yesterday. Somehow I got some crazy cold. And it took me out all day yesterday, so I'm sorry about that, but I am back here with you guys today. It would be typical, honestly, that in a day off I'd be sick, though it was convenient in its way also. So, all right, cool. So we're gonna check this out. See what the best place for you guys is. Kind of there, there we go. Yeah, so we got this guy broken down into layers right now. Maybe we'll do this. All right, we got these things we got this broken down into layers, and the most important part right now is going to be his arm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and add some, maybe like some blue lines, something that looks dramatically unlike the rest of it on its own layer, and help to try to adjust it. I'm thinking of building it in the old school, how to draw the Marvel way, which is using geometric shapes to represent the way the way his arm is kind of turning, or pointing straight out. Like I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with it. Either have his elbow out or have the hand pointed up more. Like have the hand be out of the camera, falling away to his shoulder. And we're going to try a couple of different ways. There's also a perspective tool that'll hopefully help us to establish what point on his body should be closest to the camera, and then adjust based on that. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up in here and add a new layer. We have quite a few layers going on right now, as you can see. But whoa, there we go. There we go. But you got to have them. I can't remember what the limit is on Procreate, but there definitely is one. I just can't exactly remember what it was. Oh yeah, that looks good, right? That color there. It's coming out of the smoke. But we got a few, and we could probably get rid of a few, but honestly, I don't feel like there's a lot of reason to get rid of stuff when when you can always possibly use it later, or you can always spend time deleting layers at the end, like when you're done. But right now, we kind of need to, pay attention to just kind of keep everything. I just kind of keep everything. I very often label my layers. This one I haven't. I've just done a lot of copy and pasting, so everything is called from selection, inserted image, and that kind of stuff. So we're going to add a layer up here at the top, and this layer is going to be our geometric layer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in over here and hit Canvas, and in Kansas, the Wizard of Oz. No, you see the. Let's see. I'll give you this one. I don't even know what I'm doing. Maybe we'll just do this. All right. So in here is the drawing assist. So see, you go Canvas. Right, like in here, and then over here is Canvas, and in Canvas there's a bunch of options. This one, Drawing Guide, right? You can turn that on, and you see, looking at the artwork here, that it's given us like a, like a checkered pattern, like a geometric pattern. So then you just click Edit Drawing Guide, and there's some options of what you can use the Drawing Guide for. Ours, we're going to use Perspective, and we're going to want to tap to create our vanishing point, and that's what it says here, is tap to create vanishing point. Let's do this. Hold on one sec, guys. There we go. All right, so here it's saying perspective, symmetry, if we wanted to have it be the same both ways, obviously. Isometric, this is just giving us a different type of grid, and then of course the grid it had given us already. There's some options here that you can use. The only one I like to use is this, is assisted drawing, which when we start to draw and use the what we want, which in our case is going to be our perspective option, you could say assisted drawing, and it's going to help like snap your lines to the perspective, Now I'm guessing that what we're hoping to have the most forward would be this, which would put our our vanishing point way back over here. Let's do this. All right, so we need it to be like way over here, I think. All right. So we put it there and say done. So now we know we have that. We have our brush and what's selected. So like I said, I think in here we're going to use kind of like a purple, I guess. And we're going to try to see what we can kind of figure out. All right. Hold on 1 second. Nothing's worse than having an itch. Hey, whoop. Hey, it's me, kinda. Oh. Let's try this again. All right, sorry about that, you guys. So now we're in our perspective guide here, and we know that if we grab the whoop, can't do that. That was the wrong brush altogether. Here's our studio pen. So see, these lines are in perspective, and that helps us because that's really how we want his arm, you know, to be. So we want to take this elbow out totally. And then the same is true here. We know we want his hat to come through right there, right? Let's undo that one. Maybe down here by his jaw. All right. So they start to turn away down here, right? Let's see if we can go in here for a sec. I want to bump these lines up a little so I can see them. There we go. So it looks like it starts to move away, but maybe not. You know, he's kind of all up. All right. We got everything up here where we need it to be. Not go up here. Just, you know, a little bit of guides, just to tell us kind of where this stuff should be in space. You know what I mean? Two fingers undo. Alright, so let's try this without our drawing guide and see some of these, some of this information that we created. So now we don't have the snap 2 anymore, and we have our extra layer that we're working on. This one says assisted on it, so I don't know if that means it's gonna, oh yeah, still doing it. And here, all our stuff is gone, but I think the deal is that it's on the assisted layer. All right, so yeah, all right. So now what we want to do is get the heck out of this silly brush and try that guy. Oh. Didn't I just make a layer? I want to use something. There we go. All right, a little bigger though. All right. So all I'm doing here is just figuring if we're going with perspective, we need his arm to do something more, you know, like this, and thicken it up through here, and have his shoulder be forward of his back by a significant amount. I already think that looks better. The bend is wrong. And of course, like, he's got his jacket on, so you'd want it to have some texture. Sure, that's what Mr. Leonard has. Okay, now we want to jump in here to one of our red layers. This is our main red layer. A very cool thing about the Apple Pencil is that you can double click and it switches to the eraser. Oops, hitting it the wrong spot. Eraser, brush, eraser, brush, eraser, brush. It's very convenient because I am definitely always concerned about the time I waste going back and forth from brush to eraser. Not so much when you're up here, but when you're down here working, it can get to be a serious mess. So, yikes, that was the smallest eraser of all time. All right, so now we're still on our blue layer for a sec. Kind of want to just we need it to be the brush. So just thinking about pulling the edge of the gun down and trying to think about how much of a gun you hold. I think his hand would be up a little higher. That's what I'm going with. Not really a bump, it's kind of more of a straight line. Right? I think we even want the even want his arm to be a little bit thicker. Let's go into our red here for a sec and take away some let's take away some of this red that I'm gonna have to adjust anyway, especially that line there. Jeez. Let's take out those. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking here. Can we turn our perspective back on? We erased a lot of our red there. In here, edit drawing guide, we want perspective. And we want to bring that a little closer. Because if we were looking at him, that's where our horizon line would be. Right? So that tells us that his arm could even be. Oh. Do a new one. Just take a look, you know. And down here, maybe see if, let's take a look here, right? Whoops. So here's what we're looking up. Holding a gun. Images. All right. This gives us some shots of people holding a gun. We could say a Western. Holding a Western gun. All right. This shot right here is really the shot we're looking for, right? Maybe we could even say holding a Colt. Let's try that, because that's what I was using for the image. All right, this one looks good. This one looks almost like the guns that we're using. You know what I mean? Let's see if we can pull that gun we were using up again. All right. Nothing crazy here except this one. This one is the one here. This is what we got. Nothing jumps out as being like the perfect one. See if it shows us. I don't know. This one looks pretty good, right? So he's holding that gun. His hand is up pretty high, and it looks like his three fingers don't cover the whole hilt of the gun. So he's got, his thumb is going to be pretty big out there, and 3 down and 1 up, which is how we're kind of working, you know. But I don't know. All right. So one way to get a reference, right, is to click your power button and your volume up button. This takes a picture, screenshot, and then we just say, you know, done, right? And we say, what do we want to do? I say save the photos. Go out of here, go back in Procreate, click here, say add, insert a photo, and there it is. Now this, we don't need nearly as much of this image as we have, right? Let's put it down here. We can look at it. Now if we take a look at it, this is of course the other direction. So it would have helped to get one that was the right direction, Dave. See if I can get a better reference. Trying to find just the right gun. You know what I mean? Almost. Lots of guns, but, you know, lots of people holding guns, but nothing that screams out. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in here into our scary layer. Go with our eraser and just take all of this out. All of this information. Alright, so for right now, we're going to turn this off and go back to our red layer. And we want to work with our red because we're on our red layer. So this time I'm going to work with the Outlaw Josie Wales. I'm pretty sure I turned the drawing guide off. The Outlaw Josie Wales and what his hand looks like on the gun. And it definitely comes down. And we got it in the... Got edit shape options. Silly, I should be like this friggin' close. And then, you know, this guy's out here. Oh, that is a huge friggin' marker I'm working with. Let's just take this away and start again. All right. Whoops. All right. So I think we're going to get rid of some of this blue. It's a little on the distracting side. All right. Back to our red layer. So now in establishing how we would hold the gun, we want to hold it up through here. So we want to get rid of this. Oh, that's on our gun layer, which is this one. This one. There we go. That one. Oh. Okay. Just erase that. All right. And we want to go back to our red layer. And this time we want his hand, you know, up this way. All right. And we're looking for, you know, more of a grasp on it. So this will be the finger that's in the trigger. All right. And we want to, let's try to think of this as one of our mathematical shapes. So it's a tube that looks like this. Now we don't need to, we just want to erase a little this inside thing. Yeah. And I need it smaller. Okay. All right, so that's one tube, and then up here is another one. It goes like this. All right. And we got the two tubes, one turning away, and one straight across. And then just under this finger, we want the other guys, the other few friends, to be down in this area. So like I said, I'm using the Outlaw Josie Wales for this this hand location. See how it looks. Does seem like that pinky might be a little big. back up a little, see how terrible this looks. Get rid of down. I think I'm focusing too much on my reference. I just need to draw this and stop sweating it. So we want his hand to come down like this. Have this be his trigger finger. And then have his other fingers come down like this. To also be holding on to the gun. Let's try that one more time. Sometimes I feel like makes it a little easier for me if I really box things out and think of them as squares instead of as the soft rounded pieces of our body, which is what fingers are, right? All right. Now if we take a look at how this came together, I think we want these bottom hands to overlap a little. Okay. All right. You totally can't see the back of the gun. So, I mean down the bottom there. You know, his hand covers all this. Alright, let's try to erase a little bit of this junk, getting a little messy here. Right. Here too. What layer is that on? Yikes. Did I just figure this out? There it is. Okay. Some serious jumping around going on. I apologize for that. Sometimes it just takes me a little bit to get going. I was holding it. The hand would be come back here a little. That is where his thumb would come out. For me, it really helps to screw around, sketch around to see if I can get my head around how something looks, you know. So that's why it's always a mess. Right. Let's try to see if we can make it look a little better. Oh. This looks pretty good. Now we finally got something going here. Okay, take the box away. Hopefully leave something that looks a little bit like fingers. See how we did if we back away. Not too bad. Okay, so we got our 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3. All right. Excuse me. So we got our 3 fingers here. Huh. We could probably get rid of that reference image because we have our other one. Alright. Had to look at my own hand a couple times. Oh. Alright. See, 1, 2, we got to work out our 3rd finger here. Want it to look like the other guys, but then we also need a little bit of the side of his hand here, and maybe the side of that finger turning around because of the way his hand is. And also maybe not. Let's throw some of the layers that our adjustment layers back on, like this one. We definitely want to bulk up his arm location, and maybe it'll help bulk up his hands a bit, which I think that we've done at this point. Okay. Try to get a little cloth going in there. You know what I mean? I'm going to bring his jacket back out here just to give him a little bit more size and stuff. Now we're going to get rid of this blue layer, go back into our red layer, and I think that looks really a lot better. So now we'll just take out some of our red stuff. Whoop, did I not get in there? This one? All right. For this one, we are in head layer. We are in the head layer. Let's see if there's anything else in here that is on that layer, and then we just go back to our big layer. All right, that arm looks a lot better. Go up a little on our size. Nothing like big mistakes, you know what I mean? Just want to take a look at if we can make, this really pop as far as our our perspective on it. So I'm kind of trying to build up a shape there. We could put our drawing assist back on, put the perspective one on. Oh. We can make everything smaller. Where would our horizon be if he was doing this? Where would it be? Oh, we know we'd have this one. But what about this one? This one is hard to use. All right. Let's take a look at that. Oh, we forgot we want our drawing assist on. So then when we draw this stuff, it's going to click. We want to be on a new layer though. Yeah, that's fine. Just take a look, you know. So we want his hand to exist right in there, where it is, I believe. Apparently it didn't stay. Assist drawing, done. Are we in an assisted layer? Yes. Alright, so we want this to be here. Oh. Alright, I think we'll get rid of our drawing guide. Get off our assisted layer. In fact, I think I'll just get rid of the assisted layer, go back down to our red layer, get rid of some of our geometric buildup. And here with our eraser, on the wrong layer again. How did that happen? All right, there we go. A little bigger so we can get all this junk out quicker. This stuff is going to make a lot of sense when it comes time to wrap his shoulder in clothes. But it seems at the moment more important just to try to get like his arm right. Oh yeah, that's looking really a lot better. Let's try our white image here. Just grab some white. Where are we at in that? Why are we not getting anything? Oh, there we go. What's going on? Let's go up here at the top. Oh, there we go. right. For this one, it goes right back to a stitch. It's very convenient. Get up in here a little, turn our opacity down a little so we're not, also turn our brush down just a little, too much. Alright. Jump back a little. Oh, that hand's not looking that bad. Not looking great, but it's not looking that bad, and we're getting a little bit closer. You know, there's something about Western guys that they're like, really extremely skinny. I think it's easy to forget, but they're really skinny. You always think probably one of the tenets of the Old West was the fact that there was never really enough food. People were often hungry. All right, I'm thinking back here. I want to at least bulk them up a little. Grab a little of this gray. Go even bigger this time. Go with something like a wash brush. Nothing like that, man. Thinking we needed a little line through here. I'm a little worried about it being too thick, but with the opacity so low, we can at least kind of sneak up on it. Let's just turn it up a little bit, turn the sides down a bit. There we go. All right. That hat looks pretty good. I feel like Jonah Hex's hat is just a little bigger. What layer is our hat on? Alright, so we want this one. So this is, you can select multiple layers by clicking a layer and then sliding the next one to the right. You could select many layers in that way, which is pretty convenient because I feel like we couldn't do that before. So then you jump out here and you grab your selection tool. What I was thinking is that the top of his hat needed to be a little higher. So then you click this guy and you can make his hat a little higher, you know. But what I want to do is turn off uniform, because we want to just bring it up a little. And maybe just line it up right with the edge of his face. Kind of like that. So then you just turn off those two tools, and bada bing, in 2 seconds we're able to fix his hat. Now the one problem we did run into is that we stretched the line that we were using here, I think. No, it was here. All right. Doesn't matter that much though, not a huge big deal. You know, we just go back in here and select our red. Make sure we're on the red layer. Bring this guy in. This time we're gonna not use this annoying pen. Maybe we'll try the Elder. Yeah, still a little too soft and something. Ah, they all look the same, it feels like, today. That's something we were just looking for, as a solid line. You know, solid. God damn it. Let's just take a look and see. See if we can put it on here. Oh. There we go. All right. Oh. All right. Double click for the eraser. And of course, damn it, did it again. There we go. No, you know what? I don't want either of those. All right. Back up a little. Now, a very unpopular aspect of Jonah Hex is that he is a... Actually, you know, I don't know. He's a Confederate soldier. Let's see. This is using the assist to help create a three-dimensional effect around the front of his hat. And I like it. I think it looks pretty good. He's got these pieces that come off of his hat like that. All right, let's take a look at this, right? Let's just take a look at this. I think that's looking pretty good. Even the hand is getting there. Hmm. Hmm. Sometimes it's easy to forget what layer that you're on. 2 fingers undo. All right. I think that's looking all right, man. Okay. That's looking like just about right where we need it to be. I like it. So now we're going to jump into, you guessed it, another layer. And our old friend black. We're just going to put together a little bit of gun. So for that, I need a little something sort of crazy. But if we made it really small, nah, that ain't gonna work. How this would look. Not too bad. At least as far as a sort of undercoat. Ooh. All right. Nice little base coat here. Oh, that was a little big. All right. All right. Just a little tiny adjustment there. All right. So now we got some of this darkness going. You know, we really just need the whole gun in the drawing to sort of look a little ashy. All right. A little bit of this kind of gray color. Looks like pretty much the whole. Oh. Alright. So this gun has like an open area around the chambers. I don't know much about this gun, honestly. I'm not a gun guy, as I think I said in the beginning. No, that is not the layer. It's gun layer. Yeah. not so much a gun guy. But I have respect for guns, because if you don't, you die. Just kidding. Oh. It's racing, right? I think I want it to be on the gun layer so that we could take out. Nah. Kind of want to be on the gun layer, but I want to paint. And we want to paint with something that is not that thing. No, that's the eraser. Or what the heck is happening? They're up here. All right. Let's see. All right. So like I said in the beginning, this is of course foolish detail since it's just a sketch. But there's some elements of the gun and stuff that I feel like I need, you know. It's kind of funny that his finger looks like it's bleeding. It's not me, man. This is how my work comes out all the time. I try not to. Alright, we need to get in here and get rid of this line. What the heck was it? I think it was like a reference line. There we go. Maybe have this last finger just be straight on, and then we can bring this hand of it, part of his hand up to just support this straight on thing. Let's see where we are on this guy. It's right here. Got to get rid of this one. Okay. There we go. All right, I think that makes that's got the hand looking a bit better. Keep moving around, try to keep making sense out of things. It's weird that it can't, there's things it just can't cover. Yeah, it's because I have put them on the wrong layer. That is exactly what I was hoping that we could get going. All right, now this coloration that we got going was cool when we were in, what was it, textures, and it was grunge. All right, guys, let's take a look at this for a sec. Give me 1 second, guys. Back with you guys. Sorry about that. We are together again. All right. So I think that we're looking really good. So all we're going to work on is the gun here. And then go back to our white again and do pretty much the same thing. Before I do that, I want to go into what makes up the gun layer here and just take out some of this stuff. All right. Not that part. All right, there we go. So we just need to take out this here. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go back to our brush. We got to use a different paintbrush. All right. So now we want to add the same elements about the open. Bring this down a bit. Let's see what we get. Oh, nothing. Okay. I'm going to do it up here, because then it'll show up anyway. Nice. Now we do the same thing, and this is of course using the straight line function of Procreate, which is really, really awesome. Alright. Seems like goes around the back a little bit. Again, I'm not much of a gun guy. I don't really know anything about guns, really. But I also, you know, I guess I respect them. I think that they seem really interesting. All right. Making some really tiny lines here. I want to just undo that one. Need our brush a little bit smaller so that we can make this one and this one and this one, this one, and then of course this one. Alright, we also have one here, one here, and one there. I want to do a nice clean arch here. Alright. Now we want to back up a little and just take a look at where we're at. Looks like, looking at my reference, there seems to be an opening all the way down the front too. So let's go down here. It goes basically from this spot here, a little bit bigger, from this spot here straight down to about, looks like to about there. All right. So it's another opening. It's interesting. Bet these openings made the guns lighter since they're so big and it's seemingly so heavy that it's crazy. So in here a little bit more. Now that we have that part of our gun, get my reference cleaned up a little, facing the same direction. Alright. Looks like over here it'd be a little bigger. And then here would be a little less. Oh. Yes, as I can't do that. So that's fine, whatever. Next thing we need is our black. So we got, this thing ends here so that there's a little piece doing that. Alright, added shape. Let's just bring it in a little. Alright. So then right following, whoop. Okay. And we need one down both sides, and this one will go all the way to the barrel, right? Yep. Right here we have a little piece that sticks out there, and then we have another long one. And then this next one comes over here and goes straight up there. All right. This one kind of bends a little. And we have our screw. How about in here? In here, coming up on the opening. Okay. Now there seems to be an interesting little piece of perspective here, which is that the gun has a little ledge here at the top. Actually, it seems like it just goes right to there, overlaps, and then just begins again down here, which I've already done. Okay. But, well, I guess we wanted a smaller secondary line up here. Whoa, look at how sloppy that line was. As long as you hold still, you can still pull it out. Alright, I think we need to get rid of a little bit more red. Alright, I think we can get rid of that layer. Alright, I want to be in here, and then with our eraser a little bit. Back to our brush. So this bump here is going to go straight down to the trigger. So this is a straight line basically from the trigger. So we want to whoop, a little bigger. I want to go pretty much straight to right there. Straight shot. With the trigger coming out like right here. And the physical trigger itself back there a bit. Alright, looking much more like a gun here. So then we want to make an arc right here. Have the program make it nice for us. Same here. Alright. This front one I feel like is straighter, not as archy. What layer are we on right now? What did you do that for, old man? Alright. What are you going to do? We work with it. Why do you want to keep doing it, though? What? 3 fingers redo. 2 fingers undo, 3 fingers redo. Go. Let's jump down to our red layer again so we can get rid of some more stuff. That would be on the gun layer, I'm sure. Whoop. Yep, gun layer. I put too much on the gun layer. Typical. So now we want to go back to our layer, our top layer here, back to our brush. Just make this line again. Edit shape just a little so that we can pull this guy up here. Then we want to make a circle right here. Give us a perfect circle, which is always nice. All right, where's our other screw? I guess you really couldn't see it, but maybe here. Okay. Alright. Back up a little and take a look at that gun. That's looking pretty sweet. Right? Stop for 1 sec, get a little liquid. Alright. Same thing we've been doing. Use the programs. Arc tool. Another one. All right. Gotten this other hand out of here and just find out where the rest of this hand is. Not there. Oh, can't be there. That's turned off. Can't be there. It's like practically no other red here. You know what you can do, right, is you can hold and it'll get rid of everything except the layer that you're on. And that is the layer I wanted to be on. Alright. So now we got a good looking gun and no hand of any kind. Alright. Now we're back on our brush. Okay, that hand looks pretty good. Let's just use a little of this a little creamy color. See if we can get rid of, if we can really see what we're doing here. Oop. Kind of like that. But what we're looking for is where the red on his fingers are. Alright. There we go. Alright. Alright. That one. Don't need those. Okay. Not loving the way the other hand looks. I think that you can kind of see too much of it. No. 3 fingers redo. I think we're going to have to switch up this hand a little. Sometimes it's hard to get close to a thumb. You know what I mean? Like this is a chat. Sorry about that, guys. Somehow I got lost. Which my machine's gonna die if I don't get a real plug in it anyway. All right, let's get back to it, guys. Sorry about that. Sometimes it's just chaos around my stuff. You know what I mean? Just chaos. All right, so what we're trying to work on here is how he's holding the gun. Okay. Just take a look at some reference again. That's great. Oh yeah. Check this out a little bit. Let's I'm gonna try something silly as heck. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and share this up. That's interesting. Maybe it's because I just can't can't do it that way, so let's try it this way, which would be, oh, we already tried this holding a colt. Never underestimate the value of reference. It's really, really awesome. Now the only challenge is finding someone's hand facing the way you would like it to face. That for some reason is always less convenient than it feels like. What are we doing here? Doing inside of his hand. Alright. Add the photos, and then we just go back in here. Oh, hit the button on it. Go in here, say add, insert a photo. We got this one. Actually, before we do that, let's go into photos, which is in here. You guys can see this stuff, right? So we go to this one, we say edit, and then it gives us this. We want to do that. This will allow us to flip it horizontally, which is, you know, pretty much what we're looking for here. And then we say done, and we go down here to Procreate. We click wrench, add, insert a photo, and we go in here, our photo, right? Now we kind of move it around however we want. Right. Bring it up about the size we want it to be, right? And then we turn this off. And then we just take a look at the layer it's on, which is this one, and we go in and get rid of all of the detail that we don't need, which is like a ton. You know, the whole background, really. And like for this, you know, obviously this is just something to help us get the hand working a little better. So all we really need is the hand, because the gun is actually quite a bit bigger than, quite a bit bigger. The gun we're using is bigger, so yeah. All right. So now we can take a look here. All right, so now we can take a look here and see, you know, what we need to do. All right. All right, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we'll cut this part right here off, right? And we just say copy and paste. Then we go over here and hide this layer and just stick with that one. And then we move it to where we want it to be, which is about right here. Turn it a little so it matches the direction that our gun is going in. And then we're going to have to stretch it out a little. You can click in here and say freeform, so you can just stretch it as much as you think. And then we drop it like right there. So now when we back away, that's pretty much what the hand's going to look like. You know, we kind of want his hands to be big because we want everything to look like his other hand looks. Definitely have to go in and work on the other gun a little. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this guy, which is our last layer. If we move him down here, you can't see him anymore. Or not as much. All right, this layer here, we want to go in with our eraser. We just want to take out all of the stuff that we put there. Everything. Because it was not working. All right. So now this hand does look real big, right? Like it looks kind of big. So another thing that we know that we can do, oops, is we know his body is coming down right here. So we can't show everything. We can only show about that much. Now we want to be on this layer, and we want to eraser for a sec there. Erase our here like that, just so we can then draw it again. Finger. So we draw his finger, and then like this. Right. Can pop this guy right back up here for additional reference. We need his other finger to be like right here, at least a little bit, right? And then we can go in with some weight, just okay. So now we got a pretty reasonable idea of what we want his fingers to look like. We also, whoops, we want to wrap his finger around right there. Alright, this looks pretty good. Alright, so now got to go in here and get rid of these clip art pieces that we stuck in here, including that one. Definitely need this inside part of the back of the finger. Try that again. Step away from that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Maybe we oh. No, that's the other one. All right. Okay. All right, let's try getting rid of those clip art pieces again. All right. There we go. Occurred to me that you shouldn't be able to see the whole side of the trigger because his finger would be in front of it. We do want the gun to come up a little so that there is a trigger. Okay. Okay. This gun's looking pretty good. Pretty much exactly what I wanted it to look like, I guess. What is the color? Alright, just gonna stay in here. Go back to white. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right. More black. Edit shape. Looks pretty good. I'm like, like this is where we were going. All right. Okay. Just get some of the sort of furriness that came from using that shader. I want to go back in here into textures, grunge, got black. Maybe make brush a little smaller.